This is a Series 23 turkey minifigure, and this is a really cool minifigure. I really like his wings that he has, the pumpkin that he has is cool, and I wanted to make a house for him. So just like any curious YouTuber, I went to Google to find out where turkeys like to live. And I didn't have enough pieces to make this, so I had to say goodbye to one of my previous mods. You will be missed. After that, I started with the base of this build. We're going to be naming the turkey George, and the reason George lives on a mountain is because he has to watch out for all those hunters that are trying to hunt down turkeys right now. It's a dangerous world out there with all those hunters. So I built up the base of this mountain using a bunch of 2x4 gray bricks. And I wanted this to look like a small mountain, so I did a little bit of rock work. Yeah, I think this will be the right size. Now all I have to do is add some pillars to hold up the floor. For the floor, I'm basically using a bunch of big gray plates. I think these work good for a mountain, and on top of these I'm going to add some green plates. So George lives in a tree because he thinks it's the safest spot that attracts the least amount of attention because, you know, hunters. So I'm going to build up the base a little bit more just because it needs to be taller, and it's going to slowly spread out and get thicker. And shocker, it wasn't long before I broke a brown piece. So I did some building off screen, and as you can see, the base of it is really thick, and I wanted to make it get totally taller. And I added this window, so in case hunters are getting too close to him, he can make sure and brace himself. I think George is getting really frustrated. He's sick of all these hunters, so we're going to build up the walls so he can be more protected and make sure he's safe. Building up the walls basically included 2x2 bricks and 2x4 bricks, mostly in brown. When I was building up the base of George's house, I added the snot brick so I can add a leaf to it just because I knew the front would look pretty bland. And another reason I added these leaves is to cover George's window because the hunters would easily be able to find him if it was super visible, but it's not super visible with all these leaves. I also added some leaves on the right side just because it looked kind of bland on that side too. So I continued building up. I wanted to add some limbs out so I could add some leaves hanging off of those, and I think I did that pretty well with these long 2x7s or whatever they are. 2x7s? I don't even think those exist. I'm gonna add a couple more walls, and then I think I'm gonna add the second floor, which is just gonna be a 4x6 gray plate, which I think looks pretty good. I think for the second floor interior, I'm going to make a bed and then maybe a desk or something. I'm also going to add a chair just to fill out some of the space in there. I built up some walls, which I think makes the room look a lot better. So I built up the sides of the walls, and I added a snap brick on the side so I could add some nice texture to the side of this house. This thing is getting tall, but I don't think it's quite finished yet. So I'm going to add another layer of bricks. After many minutes and tears, I finally built these things for the limbs of the tree. And sure, while one of these looked pretty cool, it will look cooler with two, which I made. I also made one for the side so it looks cooler and fills it out. I also added a spider just to make it feel that much more like a forest. On top of the tree, I added a porch, and then I put the turkey and his pumpkin on top of it. And you may be wondering why this pumpkin is so special, but as a young boy, George's father passed away due to health issues, so his mother gave him a pumpkin friend so he can feel less lonely. Because now that his father was gone, she had to work 2 jobs. But because of all the stress and stuff that she had, she passed away a year later. So as George got older, he watched his pumpkin as if it was his best friend. And he feels pretty successful because he's not a 30-year-old living in his mother's basement. I'm gonna add some leaves on top of this, and then I'm probably gonna be done with the top for now and go into the interior. The top floor, aka the bedroom, is already done, so now all you gotta do is the first floor. Right now the first floor is really bland, so to make it less bland, I'm gonna make an oven with a flower on it, and that should boost it up some. Yeah, that definitely makes it look a lot better. Now George has another place he can hang out with his pumpkin. So right now the outside of George's house looks really bland, so we're gonna spruce it up by adding some flowers and some plants. And to make this branch look a little bit better, I'm gonna add a bird. Man, this thing is looking awesome. Now all we have to do is add the chimney, and I think we're done. 3, 2, 1. Thank you all so much for all the support that I've gotten on my recent videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.